you know, this is what happens during this time of the year. Everybody comes up with the NFL list, and we always have to rate people because there's not enough to talk about, so you kind of got to figure out something. And Tom Brady, despite being coming off a Super Bowl, right, another one, number 6, he was not voted in this story by The Athletic, talking to 55 front office types, right? And they listed Aaron Rodgers as the best quarterback, not Tom Brady, as we head into the 2019 football season. Do you have a problem with that?
I don't necessarily have a problem with Rodgers being ranked ahead of Tom Brady. Where I did have the problem was, you know, all these guys kind of give their opinions off the record and nobody puts their name on it. And I get it, right? Like, you work behind the scenes, you can't do it.
They want to keep their gigs.
Yeah, I get it.
Some of the best information we ever got in this country came from Deep Throat. People who you know what I mean? Who could,
sure.
That's you know the business.
I know
You're
the business.
a reporter.
I am. I get it. There was one thing that caught my eye, though, Rob Parker. And it was an anonymous defensive coordinator. I'm trying to figure out who it could be. Maybe it was Wade Phillips or somebody like that. But he said, this was the part that caught me. He said, Aaron Rodgers is the only one, being a quarterback, that can do everything with the least talent. Brady makes tier 1 decisions. They ranked all these guys in tiers, but cannot carry the team the same way. New England has a system and the running game. Put all the other quarterbacks on that Packers team, and who do you think would succeed? Not many. And so I guess my only problem is, like, maybe I missed the run where Tom Brady had a bunch of Hall of Fame running backs and wide receivers, but that was the thing that stood out to me. Not that Brady is ranked behind Rodgers, but this idea that Rodgers is doing it with so much less than Tom Brady.
Well, but here's the thing. You know, when you look at that team, they just started getting free agents, which they never did. 1 year.
Green Bay,
I'm talking about 1 year. Everybody on that roster, except for one player, was drafted by the Green Bay Packers. Okay. Nobody operates like that. So you were drafted as a Packer, and they kept you, and you learned the system. And Aaron Rodgers has had to live through, when you talk about his failures in the playoffs, his defense has given up over 40 points 3 or 4 times during his run, where he scored 40, but he didn't win because the defense gave up 47 or 45. All I'm saying is he's played with way more flawed teams defensively than Tom Brady has. The only time Tom Brady defense let him down, quote unquote, let him down, was in the Super Bowl when they lost to Philadelphia. Yep. Right? That's about the only time he's always in the game. And the other part is, I get these executives. When you look at, did you watch Tom Brady in the Super Bowl?
I may have seen the game.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
He looked like a 41-year-old quarterback. And, you know, I've been saying for years that he's fallen off the cliff. Did you see the video on Instagram? Him and his daughter? It's official. We saw it. We have proof he fell off the cliff. He was terrible in the Super Bowl. He had less than 200 yards. He had a pick, a fumble, no touchdowns, and they couldn't even fudge and give him the MVP. That's how bad he was, that they couldn't, in a game, what was the final score? 13-3? Was that the score? Tom Brady didn't even get the MVP. They wanted to give it to him, but they couldn't even justify it. That's how bad Brady was.
Well, how about the game before?
No, I'm talking about the last game we saw.
We don't judge him on one game.
The last time you saw Brady, did he look like a 41-year-old quarterback about to fall off the cliff with his daughter or not?
Well, besides the daughter part, yes. But what about the week before?
I'm asking you.
348 yards.
You know what a week can do to you as you get older? It changes.
I just got
Trust me.
Well, I just got married.
And I want to say mazel tov on your wedding.
I was going to say, I literally hurt myself at the gym the day after I got married.
Did you?
So if that wasn't a sign that I'm getting older, then maybe I'll appreciate.
Dude, you're in your 30s talking about getting older.
I'm just saying.
How old are you? Are you kidding? How old are you now?
I just turned 34. I'm just saying. I feel Tom Brady's pain as an elder statesman here.
I'm 21 years older than you. Stop it.
I'm just saying. First of all,
21 years older.
I'm just saying. I understand. I understand that as you get older, sometimes your body starts to break down. Like I said, I was married one day and my body literally started failing me. So that's the only point I'm trying to make. But with Tom Brady, And I know you like to do this, Rob. You like to pick out little sample sizes. I'm just saying.
I gotta figure out what works for me, and that's what I go to.
Yeah, of course.
Real simple.
Yeah, there's an old saying, something to the effect of like, every theory can be proved, like depending on what the information is you're looking at. And all I'm saying is, if you go back, if you take that one game, yeah, he looked bad. But Jared Goff, who's like 22 years old, looked pretty bad, and he's young and nimble and athletic and all that stuff. But you go back a week before that, Tom Brady threw for 350 yards in the cold weather in Kansas City.
Have you ever heard of Father Time? I want you to know. I want to introduce you to him. Undefeated.
Sure.
Undefeated. And I don't care who you are. And normally when you get older, it just happens. There's an injury, or you can't square up that ball anymore. You can't go to the basket the way you used to and get by people.
Chris Paul.
I'm just it happens like
Sure.
overnight, and you go, what? Wait a minute, what happened? So all I'm saying is, I understand why they would take Aaron Rodgers. What can Aaron Rodgers do as a quarterback? And you want to go look at the NFL record books where he had the most completions without an interception. He has the best touchdown to interception ratio in the history of the NFL, 4-1. Tom Brady's 2.5-1. He also has the greatest quarterback rating of any quarterback who's ever played in the National Football League. Not this year, not last year, not 5 years, the last 5 years, not the last 10 years. In the history, we're going on 100 years, right? And this is 100.
Yeah, something like that.
100 years, nobody has a better quarterback rating than Aaron Rodgers.
So here's my question, though. I'm not saying that if you had to choose between one, I'm arguing against Aaron Rodgers. What I am arguing is the concept that he did it with so much less talent than Tom Brady. That's the point that I'm trying to make is you look at Gronk was hurt a bunch of the year. Julian Edelman was suspended a couple games. Like, the running backs change every single year. Sony Michel, second-year player. I'm just saying, like, this idea that Brady has so much more to work with, I just don't buy that.
Well, here's the other part. Aaron Rodgers didn't have the support of the Patriots with cheating. So imagine if Aaron Rodgers was playing and they were also giving him the defensive signals to the other team. What would he have done?
It's a great question. I can't counter that.
You can't, right?
I heard you on this show yesterday bringing this very topic up.
But it's true. I mean, I don't know why we just poo-poo it, act like it didn't happen, cover our eyes. Who gets helped if you know the defensive signals of the team and you're a quarterback? Does that help Tom Brady, yes or no? Or he doesn't know anything that's going on?
I would think it would help, yes.
Wouldn't it help you?
It would.
And I'm not saying, and now when you look at Brady, even now, for all the success, where would they have been without Sony Michel? I mean, that guy was a dynamo. And Tom Brady flips the ball out to a running back, and they run 30 yards. He gets credit for a 30-yard pass. That's what Tom Brady can't throw the ball downfield, not as good as he used to. So when I look at all these things, I have to look at, I don't think it's close between Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady. Not even close. So 10 out of 10 times, I would pick Aaron Rodgers.
So you're saying the fact that that Aaron Rodgers, their team missed the playoffs, they lose to the Cardinals, the worst team in the NFL last year, Mike McCarthy gets fired, all of that, and part of being a quarterback is being a good leader, right? All of that falls on the other guys, but not Aaron Rodgers?
I'm not saying that. He's a part of the team, but I'm saying Aaron Rodgers has played, and everybody knows that if Aaron Rodgers was in Green Bay, was in New England, with that defense and what they were able to do in running game and all that, I don't know what he couldn't do. I'm just saying he's had to work through other things, and yet he still won a Super Bowl with a porous defense. That year, the defense was really good, and they were able to win, and he was able to get there. But if you're just honestly taking a look at what kind of points that defense, Green Bay, over the years has given up over the last 8 years, it's mind-boggling that they're always in the mix. And that's about him. The reason that they always put Green Bay in the mix is because of Aaron Rodgers.
Well, that part I don't disagree with. I just think this idea that Tom Brady has so much talent at his disposal. And look, it's something we talk about all football season long, but I mean, he's had basically one Hall of Famer at wide receiver in Randy Moss. Gronk obviously was incredible in his prime. But
he's not going to be a Hall of Famer, Gronk?
Well, I was saying he was really good in his prime, but the last 3 or 4 years, it's not like he was playing 16 games a year. So that's my point of contention. If you want to put Rodgers 1, that's fine. If you want to argue he's younger, he's this, he's that, he's doing more with less, that's fine. But don't tell me that Brady has nothing when literally half of his wide receivers, you talk about the Packers, everybody being drafted to that organization. Most of the guys on the Patriots weren't even drafted at all. Chris Hogan was playing lacrosse in the at Foxborough High School a day before Bill Belichick signed him.
I get it, but when you're just dinking and dunking and throwing under coverage, I guess, Tom Brady, let's face it. He's not making those big throws that that he did in the past. He's definitely slowed down. Would you admit that it's more dinking and dunking? And
I would, but maybe he doesn't have the receivers that he did. He doesn't have Randy Moss to just go over the top of the defense like he did 10 years ago.
I don't think he has the arm strength to do it anymore. You remember he tried to throw the ball last year, tried to throw the ball out of bounds and wound up throwing an interception in Pittsburgh. Do you remember that? He couldn't even throw the ball out of bounds. It fluttered so much. I think the receiver, the DB, caught it with a butterfly net. That's how bad it was.
Would you, real quick, I know we got to get to break. Would you have it number 2 if you don't have him at 1, Brady?
Maybe 3. I have to think about it.
Okay.
Maybe Mahomes or Drew Brees or somebody like that. But all right, is it disrespectful towards Tom Brady to say that Aaron Rodgers is the only quarterback who can win with a weak supporting cast? We'll continue the conversation with you next, and we are talking about the list that came out from The Athletic. It has Aaron Rodgers ahead of Tom Brady. We're asking you if it's disrespectful. After all, Tom Brady's coming off another Super Bowl. He has 6. Aaron Rodgers only has 1. They were, 6-9-1 a year ago and didn't make the playoffs, and you mentioned it. Lost to that god-awful Cardinals team.
Yep.
That was really bad, and that cost McCarthy his job. There's no doubt about it. So we want to hear what you have to say. Let's check it out and start with Sean in Sacramento. You're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Sean?
Hey, what's up, fellas, man? It's good to hear Aaron on the radio with you, man. It's not that difficult for him to fill in, knowing that he's with the stinking genius every weekend. You feel me? So
there you
I'm
go.
feeling the chemistry right now, man.
Yeah. After you work with Arnie, you're pretty much prepared for everything. So, Sean, you know what it's all about, Sean. You know what it's all about.
Oh, yeah, I'm already know, man. I'm on there every single weekend, man. Hey, Rob is like stinking genius over there, man. But I wanted to make a couple points, man. Rob, I usually ride with you, but I can't ride with you this time, man. Some of the stuff going on with Aaron Rodgers is self-inflicted. He's never available. He's always hurt. The guy wants, 20% of the total team salary cap, according to the rumors? How are you ever going to put any talent around that guy when he wants to be the center of the entire universe? And he's taking up all the salary cap. And then my other point is...
The salary, Sean, let me just say this. This salary cap BS, that's an artificial made-up number. There's no profits cap for owners. Where do you get this that he should take less money? Let them figure it out. I want to get paid what the market value is. And don't tell me about Tom Brady. His wife makes more than him, so he doesn't care about money. But why in the world should you take less money? And for all the people give Tom Brady credit, Sean and Aaron, about the players, the lack of stars he has, they're not using the money to go out and get players to help Tom Brady, so why should you take less?
First of all, who is Aaron Rodgers dating?
I don't know.
Danica Patrick.
Is that okay?
Yeah, and before that it was Olivia Munn. He's not,
But that doesn't mean that they're sharing money. They might be sharing bed, but they're not sharing money.
Oh, so Giselle just opens up her checkbook anytime, but not Danica Patrick.
They're married legally. You think Danica Patrick is just throwing cash around?
I think they take vacations together. They seem happy. I don't know if they jumped off any cliffs lately, but they seem happy. I'm sure she picks up a dinner bill every once in a while.
That would be nice. 877-99 off Fox. What about Isaiah in Green Bay? You're on The Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Isaiah?
Hi. So I just want to say, plainly and simply, you can't compare Aaron Rodgers to Tom Brady. Tom Brady was a 7th-round draft pick. Aaron Rodgers went in the 1st round. He dropped because of his attitude. His attitude has clearly shown this last season. You look at the way that he treats his group every time he gets in the huddle and every time he would look at the sidelines.
Are you putting together a boys' choir or are you winning football games? Which one is it?
Well, do you want a team around you or do you not want a team around you? And clearly when he was looking at his teammates, he doesn't know how to be a leader.
And by the way, Isaiah is calling from Green Bay, Rob Parker.
No, I doubt that he's calling from Green Bay. I think this is a made-up.
Parker.
Isaiah is really calling from Boston. He's just trying to act like it.
Green Bay, they're supposed to be defending their guy.
That couldn't have been from Green Bay because I couldn't hear the tin cans in the string. Was that really him? I'm sorry. Bernard from New Jersey.
It's their 1 week of summer this year. Why you got to pick on
I know, right? Bernard from New
Wow.
Jersey. You're on the Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio. What's up, Bernard?
What's up, Rob Parker? Huge fan, man. I don't care what people say about you. I love everything you
My
do,
man, my man. Thank you so much.
I do have to say I kind of disagree with you on this part.
What's going on?
On the level of skill, I do give you Rodgers unbelievable QB. Nobody can match his skill. On the other hand, Tom Brady is a better leader and a better QB because why? Brady takes a pay cut to get his team around him. He's a better leader. Skill, no question. You got it there. Aaron Rodgers is way better. But as a player, I mean, you got to break it down as far as what you're going for. In my eyes, anyway. Brady's a way better leader and way better team player in that aspect. Rodgers, he took a max contract. I'm not against him. Hey, get your money, whatever the case may be. Tom Brady is married to a supermodel who brings in $1 billion a year.
Name the big star that since they saved money with Brady that they brought in to help Brady. Everybody says he doesn't have any star receivers, but they got extra money because Tom Brady took a cut. What did they do with the money? Did they use it to help Brady?
They used it to buy Super Bowl rings. That's what they used
is that
money
what it was?
for. Yeah.
But anyway, thanks, Bernard, for your support. Appreciate it. Terrell Davis, the two-time Super Bowl winning Hall of Fame running back, and, of course, with the NFL Network. He's an analyst there. Let's welcome to the show. How you doing, Terrell?
Hey, I'm doing great, Rob. What's going on, brother?
We're doing all right. Aaron Torres is joining us, and let's just get right to it. We just had this thing. This thing came out in The Athletic, and it has Aaron Rodgers listed over Tom Brady as the best quarterback. Do you have any problem with that? I don't, but some people do.
Yeah, I think people are trying to. Let me say this: Aaron Rodgers he's a great quarterback. I'm not taking anything from him, but I think when you look at quarterbacks, you have to sort of grade them and evaluate them on sort of their career and body of work. And there's no quarterback in football today, or when I played, or before I played, that is as good as Tom Brady and has done what Tom Brady has done. So. Obviously, Aaron, I think when people look at Aaron, they look at some of the skill sets, his strong arm, the fact that he can sort of play with, off a different platform. He can improvise a little bit more. But Tom Brady's work is it's unprecedented. So I kind of have a problem with that because I see this man as the greatest quarterback to have ever played. And I played with a good one, a really good one, in John Elway. But Tom Brady, you give him a ton of pieces, different pieces around him. He's been doing it for decades, been consistent, and he has the ability to elevate anybody to play around him. And so, to me, he's number one quarterback I've ever seen.
I was gonna say real quick. For me, it's still Joe Montana, and I know Brady has 6 rings.
Why you say Joe? I'm
gonna say Joe. Just really 4-0 in the Super Bowl, 11 touchdowns, no picks. Won 3 MVPs, and in 2 of the 4 Super Bowls, he had to throw a game-winning touchdown. It wasn't some kicker that came on the field to win the game. He had to throw a touchdown to win. And when I watched his body of work and what he was able to do, I really believe he's the best quarterback I ever saw.
So you don't give Tom Brady credit for 9 Super Bowl appearances and winning 6 of them?
No, I'm not saying I don't give him credit, but I saw Tom Brady win 2 Super Bowls, throwing 1 total touchdown in 2 Super Bowls.
Well, it's not okay. Here's the thing about quarterbacks too: is sometimes less is more, and you got to give. Tom Brady didn't have to throw a lot of touchdowns especially last year.
He didn't throw any. He didn't throw one in the Super Bowl.
But that's okay. He didn't have to. So he can play in any type of game. So he recognizes that if the game is low, it's a 3-0 game. Why do I need to go out there and try to force it to score a touchdown? It wasn't going to be a shootout. But when they needed to have that game-winning drive, what did he do? He drove the team down there, threw that nice pass to Gronk, set him up for a touchdown. They went up, and that game was pretty much over at that point. So you don't have to go into a game and throw 4 touchdowns to impress me. I mean, he's managing the game. And here's the other thing too: over the time that he's been the starting quarterback for the Patriots, their roster has constantly turned over. They're playing with a different type of cast, the kind of offense they played in. They're just very dynamic. So I just think just that is so impressive to have. He's not playing with a lot of, Hall of Famers. You see Gronk might be one. There's some chatter out there or debate about Edelman. But really, it's hard to name the starting cast that Tom's played for or played with and say they were all, Hall of Famers. So you got to give him credit for that.
This is The Odd Couple. Aaron Torres filling in for Chris Broussard, Rob Parker, and Terrell Davis joining us. Let me ask you this, Terrell, is you look at Aaron Rodgers, and there's obviously a lot of people have kind of said some of the body language, all that stuff rubs people the wrong way, even rubs his own teammates the wrong way. You mentioned that you yourself played with one of the all-timers. How important is just the leadership element of it when comparing not only Rodgers versus Brady, but kind of all quarterbacks?
It's big. I think it's one of the true qualities that quarterbacks must possess is leadership. They're the one guy that everybody on offense looks at them. And if they have an attitude that is not real, I don't know what the word I'm looking for, but it's got to be something that's contagious where people are looking to follow you, where they're in, they're inspiring their teammates to play on another level. And it's got to be done not through talk, but through action. And even your nonverbals, when you're not saying anything, people are watching you. They're watching you when the team, let's say you go down by 2 touchdowns. I'm looking at the sideline. What's John Elway doing? If John looks defeated, if he looks like we don't have a chance to win this game, that's hard for me to have confidence that we're going to come back and win. And so those are kind of the signs that I'm looking for in a quarterback, and they're being watched all the time. We give quarterbacks all the time we scrutinize them like, Cam Newton. We watch everything Cam does. From the time he steps on a football field where he's got the headphones on till after the match when he's in the press conference with his headphones on and whether he has a towel over his head or not, we're evaluating Cam Newton's demeanor, his nonverbals. And then we all talk about it on television. And we say, well, is he being a poor sport? Is he not being a team, a good teammate? So quarterbacks is very important. But I know I played with John, and I can only speak to my relationship with him and how he performed. He was one of the greats. John, he was fired up. But even when we were down by a few touchdowns in the game, I never felt like John gave up or John didn't care about the game. And that got us all playing really well and fighting for him. A guy that we just felt like, he was a great leader. He knew when to talk, knew when not to talk, and seemed like he always said the right thing.
How surprising are you that John has had so much trouble with getting a quarterback and finding a quarterback? You would think that a guy who is as good as him would be able to spot a guy who's really good, but they've had a ton of quarterbacks since he's been there. And are you surprised by that?
I think we all are. But I understand. Here's what I understand. I know I coached high school football for 2 years. And when you've done it before, and you try to get people in that position that can do what you can do, but that's why John's a Hall of Famer. Like the quarterbacks that he's picking and has picked, they can't do what John can do, and so you got to be able to see things through the lens of somebody who's saying, "All right, I'm not drafting you to do what I can do. I'm drafting you based on what you can do and what I think you can do for this offense." And I think that's a difficult thing for a lot of greats. Michael Jordan trying to, select basketball players.
You're right. It's been hard for him. He drafted Kwame Brown, Adam Morrison. I could go through the list. It's an ugly list.
Yeah, and because he's a great. It's just hard for sometimes people to look at things through the lens if they can't do, what they can do. And it's been complicated. And the second thing I would say about John Elway is that he's never had a chance to really draft a top quarterback. Think about it. He had to go up to get Paxton Lynch in the first round. Trevor Siemian was a 7th round draft pick. Brock Osweiler was a 2nd round pick. So he never had like a top 10 quarterback that he had starting. So let's be fair that he was trying to get 2nd through 7th rounder to come in and to produce as a 1st rounder. And so the Broncos have always been a good team, so they've never had a chance to kind of draft high. So Let's keep that in perspective as well.
Hey, it's the Odd Couple. I'm Chris. He is Rob, and we want to encourage all of you to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
That's right. You can listen to us on the radio, and now you can watch us as well, and it's fun.
No question about it. And remember, oh yeah!